$200 into the school. Yeah.
Good evening. Please rise for the pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you to the veterans and their families. Sacrifice is always appreciated. Okay. First item on the agenda, council has gotten the financial report. It has the account balance report as of November 30th attached. Also has the revenue versus expenditure report for the month of November, and it is attached as well, or in the packet. The open enrollment for health benefits is for 2023 has been completed, and the business license renewals have been sent out for 2023, and they were mailed October 21, and they're due by January 1st. All commercial locations, new and or renewal, must have a fire and life safety code inspection by Title 25 of the Georgia Code. The tax bills for 2022 were mailed October 10th, due by January 20th. The year-end financial and payroll closing procedures will begin after the last pay cycle in December. Beginning in January of 2023, the pay day and pay cycle will change from Monday to Wednesday and to a citywide bi-weekly schedule. First Wednesday pay day will be January 4th, and the first bi-weekly will be January 8th. We received $40,583 for 2022 LMAG. Since we're up to date on our audits. We were also approved for a 2023 LMAG amount of $41,871 and should receive that in the very near future. Those have to be earmarked for specific locations in order to apply for them. So one, of course, the city is going to have to do certain matching to those funds, but the one is for repairs on Hammond Road, one is for repairs on Dooley County. With GMA Safety and Liability Grant for $5,600 was received, and emailed the information to the council October 28th. We applied for a DWSRF grant with the city matching. The grant is for $4,978,000. City's matching would be $530,093 for water facility improvement project and reservoir restoration project. There has been no update on that since December the 8th. As far as planning and zoning, Charlotte's Place subdivision on Jefferson Street, 55 single-family homes. The clearing and the grading is underway at that location. Sewer capacity reservation was paid and submitted to the county per, I believe, the last voting session. Ellington Farms subdivision on Sunset, 50 single-family homes. Construction continues there. Alexa Statham subdivision on Providence Road, 76 single homes. The grading continues in that location. Building permit applications are being received. Drove by there the other day. Looks like there's about 9 or 10 houses that are constructed going up the hillside. Providence Estates 2 on Providence Road, 35 single homes. Reviews are being finalized, and we'll schedule a pre-construction meeting in the near future. Stable Apartments down by the transmission place on Atlanta Highway, 51 two-bedroom dwellings. They are in the process of grading and clearing. Statham Place, Dooleytown Road, 36 single-family homes. The reviews are complete. They held pre-construction meeting. Developers and builders put off this project until after the new year. Formerly known as the Lewis Cooper property, map parcel ST04095B and ST04095A, located on Jefferson Street, is under contract, and applications and plans may be submitted by September 30. Per email was received, and no update since 12/8. The Moore property, has been no further movement on that, and no further word since, I believe, June. In the Highway 316 PUD tract of land, which is better known as the Walton Global Group, has been no further inquiries or movement since a meeting with them about 6 months ago. As far as the police report, they did 221 citations, 106 traffic warnings, 61 reports were filed, 6 accidents, 29 arrests, 2 drug or DUI related, and checking of the neighborhood and business is performed daily. The chief noted on here he would like to thank the mayor and council and the Statham community for their continued support. Paid citations held at court were 54. Warrants issued 1, probation year-to-date 68, scheduled for court 65 more, and trials scheduled for court 2. So they are staying busy. As far as the public works, a total of 161 locates were done, 102 for water, 59 for sewer for the month of November. Sent to the city through Georgia 811, all which were marked and noted as no conflict. Christmas lights and decorations are in place for the holidays. Spring treatment and lift station operations are checked on a daily basis. Leaf and limb pickups continue when weather permits. Has to be somewhat dry to dump the leaves. A few new water meters were set with a lot coming up in December. The project for stormwater down at next to Castos on First Street is well underway. Pretty much done, except they have to wait until we get a few days of dry that they can actually finish grading and putting dirt back. They replaced a reinforced concrete pipe. They took out 9-inch and 12-inch and put in 36-inch. So it should handle a lot more storm water. The weather is holding up finishing that project, and then they need to do a little bit more concrete work, paving, and the landscape. about it. And water department, street department said that they would like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And that is from Jordan. Just a little update from the mayor. Just a few highlights. Whether everyone is aware or not, we have 5 audits were completed in 2.5 years and have been uploaded to DCA website, among others that are required. The auditors are currently deep into the fiscal 22 year audit. And as April's report stated, we've received don't make money. I believe that's the first in about 10 years. Completing that major storm drain issue down First Street is well underway, and the lost negotiations. We had the special called meeting, and the council agreed to join the rest of the municipalities for the loss. And so Winder had their meeting, I believe, last night, and they agreed to join everyone on that. So that's hopeful. We definitely need that to maintain our tax liability on the residents. If it goes away, it will mean for everyone. Hope that that does not happen. Okay, first on the public hearing is the alcohol license distance waiver permit renewal. Fajita Mex Grill applicant has applied for a City of Statham alcohol beverage license distance waiver permit for beer, wine, and distilled spirits located at 1916 Railroad Street, Statham, Georgia. This location has a current business license and an alcohol beverage license for beer, wine, and distilled spirits by the drink. And as every one on the council is aware, they had applied for the distance permit, and the church next door has agreed in writing that they have no problems with that, with a few stipulations as far as when they would not be allowed. So is there any questions or comments on the license for the distance waiver? Okay. This is a public hearing, so public comment is welcome. Is anyone interested in commenting on this waiver for the alcohol license? Okay. No comments from anyone. I guess I should have gone into public hearing before we move on. We have to close the public hearing portion, so I would need a motion to close the public hearing portion of the meeting.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
All those in favor? Okay, it's unanimous. the discussion items on the work session. The first one is the beautification and tree committee officers per City of Statham Code of Ordinances, Section 12-21. The mayor shall appoint 7 individual residents of the city to the tree committee and be confirmed by the city council. Each individual member of the tree committee shall serve for a term lasting 2 years beginning January 1, 2023 and will expire December 31st of 2024. The members that have been submitted to the council chairman would be Tim Torelli, co-chairperson Lee Patterson, secretary would be Christine Bogenreiter, members would be Dwight McCormick, Kurt Bogenreiter, Shannon Patterson, and Michael Waltrip. So those are the ones that the council has to consider for approval. Any comments or concerns with the submitted members? Okay. Next on the agenda is a resolution. This is R-22-04. This is a resolution of the mayor and the city council of the city of Statham requesting the introduction of local legislation amending the charter of the city of Statham, Georgia, to provide for term limits in the office of mayor and city council. This is up for discussion.
Mayor, I'd just like to say I've been for term limits for quite some time. I'm glad to see it's coming for us. It was up to me, and I think we have term limits on all elected officials. That's just my 2 cents on it.
Any other comments?
I do believe this can break up some of the monotony. However, the way it's currently written is, I don't know if y'all are going to want to change this or not, or try to do it differently. After your 2 years on city council, like for Gary and Ms. Hattie's terms, you can immediately run for mayor. Just keep repeating the process. So I don't know if we need to put some kind of stop in there, or
I think if you run for 2 terms council and you decide not to run for mayor, you have to sit out 1 4-year term and you can come back.
well, that's the way it's written.
Yeah,
But
so
if you're wanting to run for mayor, there's nothing preventing you right now the way we have it written. And that's my fault. Jody brought it up on his email to us yesterday from doing council mayor.
Yeah.
So that continues the cycle.
Yeah, I would say that if you ran for two cycles on the council, ran for mayor, you would have to sit out once that mayor term ran out, you'd have to sit out.
Yeah.
7 minutes and go back.
I think I agree with that, Scott, and I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
There needs to be something in there so that you don't run council mayor and council mayor over and over, back and forth. So I think what Scott's saying is that, use me for example, I'm on the council, and say I was on my 2nd term of council, and I can run for mayor, and I can run for council, and I can run for mayor. So there's nothing to stop that.
Yeah.
And that's what I think that's probably what we're trying
To keep.
happening.
Yeah. I think if we did get it approved, I think we needed to do like a grandfather ones in, like it would, Miss Hattie decided to run, that she wouldn't be affected by it, that she would have another 2 additional terms that she could.
Well, that's the way it will be.
Yeah.
It doesn't start affecting you until when it goes into effect.
Yeah.
So if Ms. Hattie runs next year, her 2 years start, or her 2 terms will start then. Same with Gary.
Right,
Same with the mayor.
Yeah.
So
I think with that change, personally, I think it's a great idea.
So, devil's advocate, So if someone was on the council, did their 2 terms, if they sat out a term, could they come back?
As it
Okay.
goes now,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that kind of, that somebody young in their 20s and they run, they serve 2 terms, that, you know, they can come back.
They can come back after they sit out for 4 years? Okay.
This gives
Because
an
we were talking
avenue.
about mayor, so I was like.
Yeah, this is like gives an avenue for somebody else who might have a different idea or, you know, just whatever, they can come in and it's like, hey, you need to take a break, let's let somebody else have it. Give them at least 4 years, and then at the end of that 4 years, if you are interested in doing it again, have it, and then start the process over.
Any other comments on that?
The other comment from me would be that we need to probably look at cultivating leadership, you know, in our small little town.
Yeah.
And, so that would, you know, look for folks, you know, because we will have to be looking for folks that will.
Yeah, and I think we also need to get a lot of input from the citizens, because is a thought process that the voting is, they determine the term limits. If they're happy with it, they're gonna vote you in.
Right.
So, you know, Wider had been, and that's what they came back with, is basically saying, hey, if people want the candidate, they should have a right to vote them in. So that's the other side of the argument for it, so.
No other comments?
Mayor, the email that we got from Jody, legal counsel, was that obviously this is not ready for a vote. It needs more input, public input, but he advised that typically when this goes to the state legislature, it needs to be unanimous from all parties, mayor and council. I think it's equally important that we have, you know, everybody's input, citizens' input, but if everybody is leaning for this or against it, we just kind of, before it's brought up for a vote, according to legal counsel, we need to have some idea that, you know, it's something we want to move forward with or not, from all parties involved.
Okay. Item number 3 is an ordinance O-22-07. This is the first reading. Ordinance to amend Chapter 28 of the City of Statham, Georgia, of ordinances to create the office of prosecuting attorney for the municipal court, to establish an effective date and other purposes. Currently, our charter basically says that the mayor is the judge in municipal court. And the way that it's written, the city attorney is basically the prosecuting attorney. The city, I believe, and I don't know exact, but I'm thinking about 10 years ago, went with a solicitor to be the prosecuting attorney. And of course, we also pay a judge in our municipal court to run the municipal court. There've been a lot of changes, and this was explained also to the council, that basically down at the Gold Dome, that this is kind of going away, and when there are municipal courts, there is an assigned prosecuting attorney, or in our case, we call it a solicitor. And the mayor is not used as such. So this would kind of update that portion of our charter, and that is really the purpose of the whole thing. And even though we do that now, we don't have the vehicle in our ordinances or our charter to operate under that. So this would just bring us more into compliance and take the mayor out of the judge position, and as the attorney explained it to me, that prosecuting attorney is not his forte. So could he do it? He said yes, but it would be cumbersome, and it also would be a double duty. So he thought this would be the best way to handle it. Any questions from the council?
Just one question. It says that this person shall serve a term of office of 1 year. So each year the council would have to reappoint prosecuting attorney.
Yeah, the way it's written right now, it would be for a term of 1 year. And it would be, the position would be appointed by the mayor, but would have to be approved by council. So kind of like we did with the city attorney and city clerk. It's, I do the legwork, I make the recommendation, and then the council decides to pursue it or not. No other questions on it?
Yeah.
Is it typo on there? Yeah.
It was just a typo.
So just the new date.
So do you think it should be like a 2-year appointment, or?
No, I would just want to make sure everybody was aware of that. Just 1 year.
Alright. No other questions or comments from the council? Okay. That brings us to the citizen input. Aisha, has anyone signed up?
Cheryl Bill will find.
Okay.
I got my stopwatch. Let me sign in. There you go. All right. First of all, I do appreciate the council looking at the charter. It does have quite a bit of old language, we by positions of authority that no longer exist. I think it's important that in today's world, that we are at the crossroads of term limits. And according to law, you can't stop someone from running, but you can allocate time and designation. So when you're discussing the language of it, I personally, on the next agenda, when you do come up with the language, please have handouts so that us citizens can read it, and or before even posted on your website. I like to educate myself on what is going on in the meetings and how it's going to be presented. As far as, yeah, it's nice to have new people, new faces coming up, but that's a personal decision. It is hard. People find it very hard to commit because they find it very personal. And in today's world with social media, it's even more personal in attacking. I appreciate everyone up sitting there, because I know you all get attacked. It's a sad fact that people don't come to you and say, but they're going to point out what's not getting done. That's just nature. But to try to rally people, I'm kind of conflicted with that because I think it's a personal decision. I don't feel comfortable with others trying to drag people because then I kind of feel like it's one-sided again. You know, someone's leading and they're getting their friend with the same ideas. And yes, I would love the young people to get involved. I think it's pertinent that our youth, young adults, get involved. I was young, my mom was a politician, I've been in government for a very long time, following her to meetings, school board, commission meetings, and I learned a lot, and that's why I'm so passionate about it. So I think you know, starting now, looking at the charter, I really appreciate this effort going into it. But please, would you please give the citizens some handouts so that we can read new language and old language, their understanding of it. A couple other things that I've addressed before, but number one is the alleyways downtown. There are several really big garbage bins that are taking your alleyways and shortening them, where an emergency vehicle can get through them. And then you have a whole bunch of little ones too. So I would like someone to look at this and maybe come up with an idea of how, number one, we can clean it up, but also present safety in these alleyways and designation for our emergency vehicles, if they have to get through to them. The other thing I am going to speak about is right behind my house. I know I brought up my alleyway, but it flooded again. No one has come to look at it. 3 more crepe myrtles have fallen. I want to plant seed in my backyard. I can't because it's going to be a pool. The culvert needs to be cleaned. 6th, 7th to 8th is flooding. Other places are flooding too, and I hope they come and talk too. But right now, it is just a maintenance thing. Trimming those, cleaning that, there's trimming that needs to be done. There's a ditch that needs to be cleaned, and the pipes need to be cleaned. I would appreciate if someone would come out. And the other thing is, there are a lot of branches around town that are falling, and these are big branches. If you see a branch that's doing an upside down U, it's going to come down. And I know Broad Street has some of the oldest trees, and Railroad does too. But my neighbor on the corner of 6th Street, there's about 8 branches that are more than 8 inches wide that have fallen down, and several on her sidewalk. And I'm just grateful no one was walking to get hurt. I'm hoping that we get some money allocated next year to freshen these up. It's important that, you know, no one gets hurt. It's a safety issue. But I do appreciate all that you do, and I know sometimes I'm a pit bull, but you know what? You took the office, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else sign? Anyone else want to sign up? I'll give you another opportunity. Okay. Captain, do you have anything that you'd like to add?
No, sir, just Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody. We'll be here, like you said, it is a busy time for us, but we're ready, willing, and able to do what we need to do. Thanks, and because of y'all. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you. Okay. If there's no other public comment or concerns, the minute approval, November 15th regular meeting was submitted to the council November 17th. The November 22nd special call meeting was submitted to the council on November 23rd. So if there's no corrections or concerns with the minutes,
Mayor, I have one minor.
okay.
On the November 15th, 2022, underneath executive session, I think underneath item number 2, there's a sentence that says, City Attorney Jody Campbell stated there is need for executive session as there is no additional information or changes from previous session. I think that there's a no left out there.
Thank
That's all I have.
Okay, so that we'll split them up then. Any other corrections on the November 15th? If not, can we have a motion to accept the November 15th minutes with that one correction?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor? Unanimous. Okay, moving on to November 22nd special call meeting. I believe that was 1 minute and 2 seconds. Any corrections on that? If not, and by the way, for those who weren't here, that was for the council to accept the lost negotiation numbers, so not trying to make light of it, it was quick. So, at any rate,
Which one? Good one I've been at.
So is there a motion to accept the minutes from November 22nd special call meeting?
Motion to approve.
I'll say.
All those in favor?
I abstain because I wasn't here.
So, brings us to, is there a motion on the table to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor? That's unanimous. Thank you all for coming.